Hello and welcome to another lesson of Renewable English. I'm Harry Waters, and today we're going to be talking all about bees. Remember, if you see this sign, you can press pause. It will give you a few extra seconds to think about what the questions are. As I mentioned, today's lesson is all about bees. So there's some quite complex vocabulary. If you haven't already seen it, why not check out Vocab Shorts on our YouTube channel? Without further ado, let's get started. In today's special lesson, we have a very special guest. It's Amy from the Honey House, Barcelona. We did an interview about a week ago, which is also up on the channel. But today we're going to look at 3 different parts of that interview and see what we've learned about bees. Like in this picture, we've got olives and things like that. And the last word there, over manicure. Now, to over manicure is when you cut your grass a bit too much, not when you get your nails done too much. I think I need to get them done, don't you? So let's get ready for our first video. We'll have a look at some questions before we begin. Question 1. How many bites of our food do bees pollinate? Question 2. Which 3 A foods does Amy mention in the interview? And question 3, what are the 4 main threats to bees? Now you can fill it in on your worksheet if you want, or you can just shout out the answers. So without further ado, let's watch the interview. I've got a wonderful guest with me here today. It's Amy. She's a beekeeper in Barcelona, and she's the founder of Honey House, an incredible honey company making the most delicious honey I've ever tasted. Amy, hello and welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Oh no, thank you for coming. So I'm going to ask you a few questions about bees. So my first question for you, Amy, is why are bees so important?
So bees are extremely important to both the environment as well as humans because they pollinate 1 in 3 bites of our food, including apples, almonds, and avocados. And without bees, we would not have a lot of the fruits and vegetables that we enjoy so much.
What are the main threats to bees?
So the main threats to bees are climate change, overuse of toxic pesticides, over manicuring our lawns, and also monoculture, which means we only grow one certain type of fruits or vegetables in the field at one time. And so just like us as humans, if we were to eat only one thing, we would not have all of the nutrients that we need in order to be healthy and survive.
Let's take a closer look at those questions and see what the answers are. So, how many bites of our food do bees pollinate? What did Amy say? 1 in 3. Now that's quite a lot. Which 3 A foods does Amy mention in the video? Apples, almonds, and avocados. The 3 A's. Do you remember the 4 main threats to bees, according to Amy? The first one was climate change. Toxic pesticides. Remember, we looked at the picture before. Over manicured lawns. People taking too good care of their gardens. And monoculture. That one where you only grow one thing in an area, like the olive groves. So we're going to look at part 2 now. In part 2, you need to listen out and fill in the gaps. Here's a quick look at the sentences you need to listen out for. Remember, press pause if you need to.
So what we can do to help bees are a few different things. And this depends on whether you live in a house or an apartment. Regardless, you can still be a champion in saving bees. The first thing is that anyone, anywhere they are, can always put out a water feeder for bees. So this can be very simple. It can be a shallow dish filled with rocks as well as water. And this will provide a clean water source for thirsty pollinators and foragers who are out flying around. Another thing that everyone can do, this is people who have yards, is leave a portion of your yard unmanicured. So it's actually probably one of the easiest things you can do is just simply not mow the lawn in certain areas. Or you can leave a dead tree trunk, or you can plant wildflowers, and this will provide a home for solitary bees, as well as other pollinators.
Oh, wow. So it's as easy as me just leaving my garden to grow.
Exactly. Or leaving a dish of water out or something like that. Yes. So there are over 20,000 different species of bees. And it's surprising that most bees don't make honey. To my understanding, there's only 7 species within those 20,000 different ones that make honey. And the rest are what we refer to as solitary bees, meaning that they don't live in colonies and they're not social. Solitary bees are bees that fly alone, they lay their eggs alone, and they rest alone. They don't live within a colony, which is ruled by a queen.
Well, thanks very much for that. Were you listening? Let's wait and see. So here come the answers. Anyone can always put out for the bees. A water feeder, wonderful. Don't mow in certain areas. Don't mow the lawn in certain areas. Just leave a bit to grow. You can wildflowers. You can plant wildflowers, very good. There are over, how many species of bee? 20,000. There are over 20,000 species of bee. Solitary bees are bees that fly alone. And they don't live in a colony, which is ruled by a queen. A solitary bee doesn't live in a colony, which is ruled by a queen. In part 3 of the interview, Amy is going to talk a bit more about Honey House and what she does there. So listen out for these questions. What can you get at Honey House, and what does Amy encourage everyone to do? Let's have a watch.
I'm very new to beekeeping, but I really enjoy it. I love it so much, and Honey House has been a great way for me to connect with many different types of people and be in this really interesting niche between eco-friendly goods, food, as well as art and creativity.
That's great. At Renewable English, we love eco-friendly products. So what else can we get from you, from Honey House?
So at the moment, our two products are candles and honey, as you mentioned. Recently, what we added to our menu are new infused honeys. So you can find ginger honey, you can find honey that's been infused with royal jelly. You can also find aloe vera honey, and we source the aloe vera on our apiary, so at our bee sanctuary. I guess what I want to finish on is the importance of all pollinators in general. So it's not just honeybees that pollinate all of the fruits and vegetables that we enjoy. It's all pollinators, and that it's important to know that all of us can do something in order to help all pollinators. So I encourage everyone to get involved and to research online if you enjoy things like fruits and vegetables and eco goods, which I think that we all do.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for being on Renewable English. And I'll be in touch soon about getting some honey.
Okay, Harry, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for having me on Renewable English.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that's fantastic. I learned quite a lot today. Let's check the answers to those last few questions. What can you get at Honey House? You can get candles, different types of honey, both of the above. And the last question today, what does Amy encourage everyone to do? Now that's get involved if you enjoy fruit and vegetables. I think we can all do it. It's now time to draw a close on our special bee lesson. But as with every lesson, at the end of the day, I like to make a planet promise. This is my planet promise. I, Harry Waters, promise to let my garden grow and leave a bowl of water out for the pollinators. What's your planet promise? Why not write in the box below in the comments and tell us what you're going to do for the bees today. Thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. I'll see you here next time when we're going to talk about food waste. Remember, subscribe, follow, on all of these things below. Cheers, guys. Bye-bye.